So just to finish up for the week, we've covered everything you need in terms of tackling task 4. You can now shoot, you can take health off targets, you can move targets to some degree, but obviously it'd be nice to see you evolve that so the targets are moving before you shoot. And what else? What else did we do? Can't remember. Lots of stuff. So just to finish it up, we're going to change the visuals of the player so that it animates when you fire, and we're going to add a little bit of screen shake as well. And I do mean a little bit. Don't make us sick with screen shake. There's a little bit of setup involved because just due to the way Unreal migrates assets, it's not actually brought the fire animation in. Because the fire animation is not currently being used, it's actually not in the project full stop. So we're going to import that. So if you go add new in your content browser and then go to add feature or content pack and just choose the first person package and hit add to project, what that will bring in, just to show you, is in the first person folder in animations it will bring this first person fire montage. So that was missing earlier just because of the way it's used in the template project. It didn't copy over to this one, but now it's there, we can make use of it, and it does have a little interesting technical knock on inside our first person. So let's jump to the first person character. Now, because of the way we've currently got the firing set up, this will be different if you've stuck with a different way of firing, but because I'm using a function, I can't also, like if I jump to my function, I can't run an animation montage from inside here, and this is because functions happen instantly, like they don't have their own timeline, so we can't even use, say, a delay. So if I drag off here and try and add a delay, it just doesn't even suggest it because delays don't happen instantly. Obviously the whole point of a delay is to wait, but a function has to run straight away. It has to finish its execution. So to get around this, I'm going to set up a custom event in the main event graph. So we've got our firing there. Just underneath it, I'm going to right click and I'm going to do a custom event, and I'm going to call this montage fire. And then dragging off here, I can do a play montage. So here you go. Whenever you see this like clock symbol at the end, that means it needs time. It needs to be on somewhere in an event graph that can delay, basically, like a timeline needs to, and a delay call and a retriggerable delay and so on. It then lets you specify the montage you want to play. So we want to use the one we've just imported, and you also need to tell it which skeletal mesh to actually play that montage on. So we want our mesh 2p reference here. So drag that in, and that's the arms. So we want the arms to play the fire animation. And then all that remains is to actually call this custom function from here. So inside my fire function, after I've spawned a projectile, I'm going to call the montage fire custom function. So it's a nice little workaround, but also an interesting look at just how functions and events differ. So events are slightly more broad, like general purpose. Functions, quite nice because they can be called from outside, but you've still got a bit more control of them. And then macros are just like nice little reusable chunks of blueprint that only work inside this particular event graph. So they've all got their own uses. Let's just make sure that works. So now when we fire, we can see that the fire animation actually plays. So that's really good. It doesn't have any knock-on effect. Everything still works. We're getting scores, we're getting damaged targets, and we're getting moving targets, which is great. And then just to finish up, we're going to add some screen shake. And this is slightly different again. So screen shakes are actually stored in your content browser as assets. So like every different type of shake has different parameters tweaked just so it quite suits what you're going to do. So you might have a screen shake eventually for, say, jumping, and that screen shake might be very vertical, whereas this one we're about to do with firing shakes all over the place and maybe even changes the field of view slightly. So we're going to make a screen shake now. In the blueprints folder here, I'm going to right click, choose a blueprint class, and instead of picking any of those common ones at the top, I'm going to expand this all classes here and search for shake. And we want to pick a camera shake. Select that one, and we've got a new camera shake. Let's just call this fire shake, and then double click on it to boot it up. Now you don't need to worry about the event graph. What we're bothered about are the settings in the details panel, and yours might all be collapsed, so it might look a bit more like this. So we're just looking at a brand new camera shake, and we need to change its values to make it suit our purpose. So we're going to first of all give it a duration. We don't want to fall into a problem where we've just done all this work, we've done all our blueprint, and we've forgot to give the camera shake any actual time. So let's give that maybe 0.2 seconds. Every time we fire, we're going to shake the screen for 0.2 seconds. I'm not going to worry about the others. I'm going to leave them at defaults for the blend time and stuff. But now we can actually add some oscillation for rotation and location. I'm not going to do both because it's maybe overkill. So I'm just going to stick to location. And I'm going to add some tiny bits of screen shake. So I'm maybe going to go for an amplitude. So an amplitude is like the strength, and a frequency is how often they happen. So I'm going to go with an amplitude of maybe 8 and a frequency of, let's say, 10. And I'm going to just put that in X, Y, and Z. But experiment with it, change the values, see what you like. And then I'm also going to add some field of view oscillation to maybe make the view sort of pulse in or out. So the amplitude here, maybe let's go, I don't want much, I think this is in terms of degrees, so maybe 5 degrees for the field of view, and the frequency, let's keep that with 10, and we can always come back and change it. And I'm going to change the offset as well. So the others are just a random start point as a shake, but with the field of view I want it to start from our default location, so we're not snapping somewhere, we're starting from where our field of view currently is. And I'm going to compile that and save it. Now it won't do anything until we've triggered it inside our first person character. So I'm going to go back to where we've been firing. After we've played that montage, I am then going to shake. So I'm going to play a world camera shake. And it needs a few bits of information. First of all, it needs the camera shake class that we've just made. So I'm going to pick fire shake there. And then it needs an epicenter. So this is where the shake originates from. And we could just pick the actor's location. So get actor location. And it needs a radius. So outer radius is like how far away an object can be, or the camera could be from this object, from this epicenter, before the effect just wears off. So we don't need to worry too much because our camera, our first person camera, is very, very close to our actor location. So if we maybe put a radius of 200, so we're definitely within 2 meters, and then we can compile that and save it. So we've picked our shake, we've told it to originate from our location, and we've given ourselves a buffer of 2 meters to make sure the camera is close enough. And then if we play and fire, we've got a little, you can see the field of view punch is probably more of an impact than the actual wobble. So I think it just adds a little bit of something. Don't go making us sick with it. I'll just show you what tweaking the values could do. So if I maybe dial down the field of view, so maybe put that to 2, and then just ramp up the shakes. So put these up to 20 and maybe speed them up. No, I won't overdo it, but let's compile that. So there should be more movement now than field of view pulse, but it's still only a subtle change. That's probably too much. You can see the arms sort of glitch through the camera, so I have overdone it there. But for the sake of showing you how you can go about it, there we are. We're done for the week in terms of these videos, but I will see you in the lecture, or I have seen you in the lecture if you're watching these later. Yeah, thank you.